Jetzt gehen wir weiter zu Sophie Proust. Sie ist die CTO in Public Affairs von Atos. Und ich bin mal gespannt, wie Sie sich in Verbindung setzen mit Herrn Haas, beziehungsweise auf Ihren Vortrag. Sie haben einen eigenen Slide mitgebracht.
Yes, thank you.
On va l'installer tout de suite. Alors, on va changer un peu les slides. Voilà. On y arrive certainement. Et voilà. Je vois votre nom. Voilà.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you. And hello, everyone. Very happy to be with you today. Thank you for the invite. And, well, you know, actually, I'm very excited today. I think it's a wonderful day. We are in 2026. And as you see, I'm wearing my HoloLens, which are quite light, because I'm having an immersive virtual experience. I am inside the metaverse, we were talking about it, of my travel agency with this tourist platform metaverse that is now available. And you know what? I'm going to work on my future holidays in Athens. And I'm going to look at all those marvelous places I want to go, Acropolis, the Temple of Poseidon, you know, the National Gardens. Of course, I have my avatar there, who is wearing the clothes, the outfits I want to wear, to make sure that they will be fitting and convenient for me. I want also, of course, to have a very green travel. So I am having all my arrangements so that I can use the multimodal sustainable services available, the local mobility services like EV charging, electric bicycles when it's possible. Of course, in this data space that my travel agency is offering to me, I have the possibility to have all the health features I need, some business connections, because even though I will be on holidays, I will take advantage to meet some teams there in Athens. And of course, I will have the possibility to have the availability, the reservation with all my smart choices. And you know, I'm really confident because all the options I will choose will be compliant with my personal information, and I have ticked the sovereignty option in this metaverse, so everything is going to be fine. So you see, this is just an example of what it will give us, unlocking those virtual dimensions. They will provide us a lot of things, a lot of opportunity. And you said it, the market is growing very fast for that. We know that there is going to be 40% growth from 2022 to 2030, with a market size of more average 700 billion euros. So it's a great opportunity, Thomas, you said it, for Europe. But of course, there's a lot of challenges to address in terms of sovereignty, in terms of technology. And we need to understand the regulations, the technical framework that is going to be required to unlock this vision. And we said it since the beginning of the morning, sovereign environments are going to be needed for industries, for artists, for education, because we don't want to depend on monopolistic providers or external unregulated legislation. And so for me today, what I want to address with you is to understand the challenges we are going to face. Impact of the new legal landscape in Europe, and we have been talking about it very much this morning. The sovereignty objectives, and we will see that it is something we need to set, and of course, leveraging the power of data from standardized multi-partner data spaces. So the first one, it has been, you know, a great conversation this morning. I love listening to all the politicals who are setting those jurisdictions. Thomas, I agree with you today. We already have a great leadership position in Europe thanks to GDPR. We have this legislation. We have the Data Acts regulations that are also now coming for data sharing of connected objects. And we will have the guidelines for this data to be used more fairly. So those regulations actually will enable us to generate more data in a sustainable way. And if we take, I will take 3 examples to guide you there. Users of connected products will be able to benefit from cheaper services of aftermarket from service providers. Why? Because original manufacturers' data are going to be available for everyone. Factories, farms, construction companies will also be able to optimize their processes, supply chain, based on monitored data and machine learning. And we know also, one minister talked about it this morning on agriculture, is going to take more and more advantage of the IoT-generated data, using also real-time weather forecast, temperature, moisture, and using AI to give insights on how to optimize yield and planning. So since 2020, we have the Data Governance Act, which actually created a legal framework to promote data sharing with rules and obligations. And now with the recent Data Act, it clarifies who can create data, who can create value from the data, and the which conditions. And this is very important. So actually, yes, like GDPR, Europe is really once again in the driver's seat for the data economy. So as the legal framework is progressing with a clear view of the data market, we now need to understand actually what sovereignty really means. And there's no unique solution for that. We need to decide what we want, because sovereignty, actually, what is it? It is a degree of control we need to have. As we are analyzing each business, its commercial constraints and regulations, we will have to decide what to put in place. So is it, and depending on the concern of each business, so is it an operational sovereignty that we are looking for? We have talked about energy sector, which is absolutely essential. We need to understand who is operating those services so that there is no unilaterally stopped of this service provided, and we don't want also to depend on extraterritorial workforce or network connectivity. Is it technology sovereignty that we are looking for? Take, for example, the public sector body like e-governments. For them, trust is very important in the technology they're using. They don't want to have any backdoor in their software for intelligence, so they need certainly to decide on full transparency of open source software stack, for instance, which will enable bug fixing. Is it data sovereignty that we are looking for, depending on the business, once again, we have? If we look at, for example, automotive consortium and with the members who are partners but also competitors, they want to share data, they want to know where the data is stored, where is it replicated, and who uses it for which purpose. So we see here that cyber attacks protection and data geofencing and encryption are absolutely key to have this data sovereignty. And the last one is, we've talked once again a lot about it, but it's very important, regularity sovereignty. And we want to make sure that we are protected against invasive laws, for example, the Cloud Act of the USA. We need to have a clear framework to protect the data, even if it's exported or accessed by remote workers. So you see, at Atos, what we are doing is that we are addressing sovereignty from a risk perspective. We need to combine the solutions and make them very specific to the level of control we want to have. We can have ranging solutions from encrypted data in cloud enclaves to, as we have seen, a completely private cloud stack options. And of course, we need consultancy, expertise to move forward. And we also said it, and I fully agree with that, sovereignty requirements mustn't translate in something to limit innovation. And really, regulation is there to unlock innovation. This is why it is so important. So once we have the legal framework, the technology to generate more data and use it, the sovereignty concerns we have properly addressed, now we need to use the data. And for that, we need to understand each other's data. If we look back at my tourist metaverse platform example, we see that to make it happen, we have a lot of data coming from heterogeneous sources, from multiple providers. And if we don't work on standardization, it's going to be really the bubble tower. Nobody will understand each other. So we really need to have standards in each domain, and that's why industry data space are so important. So to create, for example, if I take some example to be concrete, onboard automotive services, if we want, for example, our car to be as powerful as our smartphone, we need to understand the data from many different, let's take electric charging network to create, a unique bill for me. Also, my car needs to understand the data that is coming from the infrastructure of the road to automate, for example, toll billing, but also to talk to the other cars to prevent accidents and also to prepare for autonomous driving. So it's all about sharing data among partners to create intelligent applications which will aggregate many services under an immersive and frictionless experience. So we need to have a common language across all this data, a common data model. Some of them talk about ontology, and a way to, so we have a big road to, to go to standardize everything, and we want to create those standards to enable data sharing. So let me give you some example of some industry data spaces in manufacturing and automotive. So we have Catena X. In financial services and insurance, we have Eurodata, who is working on a fraud management platform. For public sector, we have satellite observation platforms, smart city, urban data platforms. Energy sectors, health sectors also are building their own data spaces, but we will need also interactions among themselves. So I am completely convinced, and I think we share this with everyone here, that data sharing is really, really the power of the future. We need trust for that, because we need to incentivize everybody to share their own data, and that is why also cybersecurity is so critical, cybersecurity of data. We need to have those trusted exchanges, and International Data Space Association and Gaia-X are working on this, and this is absolutely critical to move forward. So, in terms of data sharing and metaverse, I saw that in terms of data sharing and metaverse, we are just at the beginning of the journey. There's a lot of effort, of course, in front of us to create this sovereign 3D immersive experience that we need. So we know that Europe has a lot of assets. We've talked about it. HPC, high-performance computing, advanced computing. We have a lot of assets in edge technologies, in cybersecurity solutions, and we have also the best 3D engines and the best graphic artist designers. So this is why we see the art of the possible are very important, and we need to deliver this vision with speed and quality, and this is why we need to embody all this and be all mobilized. A lot of people said it already. Business ecosystem must continue to emerge and agree on standards. European politicals need to continue to foster innovation, providing the necessary trust and fair regulations, and the private players like Atos might provide solutions. We are working in these directions with our customers, providing, hybrid cloud, computing capabilities, application modernization, edge, and sovereign chilled technologies to travel this journey. Thank you very much.